Peace and blessings, family. This is Ubria, and I am back with another reading. This might resonate with you or with someone in your energy. You will receive valuable insight either way. And if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Something is going to fall into your lap. This is not something that you asked for. This is not something that you went looking for, but this is exactly what you needed. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. What I mean by that is I don't know if it's something that will make you happy, but there is clarity that will arrive when you are alone. And the reason that this clarity is going to arrive when you're alone is because it's a gift. And it's a gift as a reward for you rejecting something. There's something you said, you know what? No, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to deal with this fuck shit anymore. I don't know what the fuck shit is, but you decided that you weren't going to deal with it. And yeah, because there was something that was just making you tired. It was making you drained. It was making you irritated. You just got to your limit of feeling bad. And so you just say, you know what? I want something that's going to make me feel good. I want something that's going to make me feel happy. And if I have to walk away from all this other shit that makes me feel the opposite of that, then that's what I'm going to do. So this is just giving this is the type of energy of like quitting a job with no backup plan, or breaking up with somebody out of the blue, or ghosting a friend that makes you feel bad about yourself, telling somebody you're not going to put up with some shit no more. This is like giving that standing up for yourself type energy. And I'm just getting like, as a result of that, of these choices that you are making, to put yourself first, to refuse to accept a certain standard that you feel like is a poor standard of care. Because of that, you're being rewarded with something that's just going to show up right on time. And I don't know what that thing is. Once again, I'm going to say, I don't know what that thing is, and I don't know if it's going to make you happy, but it is a reward for this new energy that you're in. So yeah, I'm going to say again, I don't know if this is going to make you happy. So maybe I'm saying that this is not going to make you happy because I feel like I keep going back to that. Yes, there is definitely something that is going to irritate you, right? But there is a blessing there because, okay, follow me on this, right? You have come into a space where you feel like you don't want to deal with things that are difficult. You don't want to deal with things that make you feel bad, right? So because of this unwillingness to suffer anymore, it's like that pee under the mattress, right? It's like because you don't want to suffer, because your skin is so tender, because you've been taking such good care of yourself, and you've eliminated all these outside distractions and concerns and irritants that can bother you, because you've gotten that shit out of the way. If something comes into your space, into your personal, into your mental space, spiritual space, actual physical space, if something approaches you and it irritates you, you're going to clock it immediately, right? So this thing that irritates you, that you are very sensitive to, is actually, that sensitivity is actually a gift as a reward of, it's like you have developed this warning system, So I feel like this is something that you don't want to deal with, that you're not going to deal with. And it's probably something that you would have dealt with in the past, something that you would have put up with in the past, something that you would have said, oh, it's okay. It's not that bad. It's just a little thing. They didn't mean to do it. Like I feel like there's lots of excuses that you would have given to excuse a person, place, or thing for disturbing your peace. But that version of you is dead. Dead. Ain't coming back completely. And there are people waiting, or situations waiting, energies waiting on a day-to-day basis for you to return to that way that you used to be. It's like you're standing in front of people and you're this completely new version of yourself who just doesn't suffer fools, who doesn't like to be irritated, doesn't like to be annoyed, doesn't like to be frustrated, doesn't like loud noises, doesn't deal with any of those sorts of things. And these people don't, or these situations, they don't see you, they don't recognize you for that. So you could be in this weird space where you're standing in front of people and they don't see you, or they're not dealing with you based on your new rules of engagement. So this could be people kind of ignoring your boundaries, talking to you about things that you have asked them not to talk to you about. Talking to you about things that you have asked them not to talk to you about, upsetting you. And you could have been the type of person to feel like, who am I to get upset just off of what people say? Or, you could have had this very live and let live mentality where you tried to squeeze yourself into everybody else's box because you wanted to be amenable and you wanted to be easygoing and all these things. I feel like you maybe previously have been very afraid to rock the boat, to make any waves, to make people look at you, notice you, recognize you as like a troublemaker or as like something or someone to be dealt with, or dare I say, as someone to be considered. You have not previously wanted to even be considered. It's like you don't want to be a factor. This is very much like martyr energy, where you're constantly sacrificing yourself on the altar of other people's desires and demands. There's also something here that whatever this thing is that's going to irritate you, annoy you, and kind of like help you recognize how much you've changed because you're irritated and annoyed by things that you wouldn't have been irritated and annoyed by. I feel like this thing happens very quickly. Like there's something that's just very routine, something that people always do, they do routinely, but there's some extra something gets in the mix and kind of messes something up. It's like like a fly in the ointment kind of thing. Yeah, so this could be, so I'm just going to give an example. Say if you have like a very demanding partner and normally you cater to them, you cook for them, you clean for them, you do all these sorts of things for them, right? And then say this one day, this partner wants this big, huge breakfast and you agree to cook the breakfast, but you don't really want to. You are not feeling it anymore. So whereas normally you do it out of love and obligation, or sorry, whereas normally you do it out of love on this day, maybe you're doing it out of obligation. Maybe your partner can't tell the difference. So you're doing this thing out of obligation, but you don't really want to do it. And say like a kid comes in, reaches for something next to you where you're cooking, and then like accidentally knocks a bunch of salt into the food. And then say your partner's in the kitchen and they're hungry and they've been waiting on that food. And then they start fussing at you and they're like, why would you let the kid, why would you let him that close to you? Or why do you even keep the salt there? Like all these kinds of things, like blaming you for this circumstance, even though you're doing a nice thing and it had nothing to do with you. So you could have been in a point in your life previously, and this person could be used to you being the kind of person who would apologize. I'm sorry that these things have happened that you couldn't control, that I couldn't control. I'm sorry that you're not pleased with your food. And then you would offer ways to fix it. You'd be like, well, let me go reprimand the kid. And then let me tell the kid that he should never reach for any seasonings around me while I'm cooking. Or let me reorganize my whole kitchen and put the seasoning in a different place. And also let me reassure you that I can still fix this. I can add more water to this meal to dilute the salt, or I can scoop the salt out. It's still here. I can, I haven't mixed it into the food yet. Whatever it is that you could do to try to fix the situation and make this person feel better. That is what everyone's used to you doing. That's what you would normally do. And so I feel like there's going to be this moment where you just can feel the shift, this difference, this line between who you used to be and who you currently are. And people gonna fuck around and find out based off where you are on this line. So instead of doing all these self-sacrificing things that you used to do, I feel like you're just literally just gonna walk away from the pot. You just, in this example, you know what I mean? You just let that shit burn. You let that shit be salty. You let that shit burn. And you don't explain anything. You just go mind your business. And it's because people should just know better. And I feel like you're just beyond the point of even explaining to people that they should know better. Because, no, that would stress you out. I can't tell you enough how much this reading is just not dealing with old shit, not dealing with the way that things used to be, not engaging with an old version of yourself that in any way undermines the version of yourself that you are now. And you're definitely coming into some sort of power. And it's like the way that you're starting to see yourself is the way that you've always wanted to see yourself. You're becoming the person that you've always wanted to be. And so these opportunities, that come that like annoy you and irritate you, they give you a platform almost to shout and show who you really are now based off the way that you handle things and don't handle things too. There's that too. There's like you're finding new opportunities to like fall back and relax and care for yourself and have your rituals and your routines and like just just watch how everything is fine. Watch how the world handles itself when you don't sacrifice yourself every day to make sure that this happens and that happens and this happens and that happens. Yeah. So you could definitely be a mom, but the thing is, I don't see a lot of mother energy in this reading. There's something about the way that you nurture, the way that you care. It is like shifting, changing, transforming. And so you're just, ultimately, I feel like you're really grateful for like whatever little fuck ups or things that happen that like just help you to remind yourself like you're human. This is a human experience. Things don't have to be perfect. And if there's expectations that people have placed on you to be that, you're like actually looking forward to disappointing them. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I see. All right. I'll talk to you later.